Hello everyone, myself Rashmi MN from LMS Power Electronics team. This is the 10th session of Power Electronics course. In this session, you will learn about ACR control circuits. The table of contents of this session includes mainly introduction to ACRs and various methods of turn on of ACR and general layout of firing circuits, and at last of the session there will be MCQs, means multiple choice questions. Okay, you have already learnt about ACR in the earlier sessions. To tell briefly about ACR, it contains 4 layers P, N, P, N, and it has 3 junctions, junction J1, junction J2 and junction J3. It has 3 terminals, anode, cathode and gate. This is the symbol of the SCR. Now we are looking at the characteristics graph of the SCR. Here it has 3 modes. Forward blocking mode. In the forward blocking mode, SCR is said to be in the off state, and in the forward conduction mode, it is in the on state. You can look into the graph here. In the forward blocking mode, I already told that it is in the off state. Why it is in the off state? Because only a small amount, few milliamps or microamps of current will be flowing through the SCR. You can see the value of IA here. IA is very small. And in the forward conduction mode, it is in the on state because more amount of anode current will be flowing through the device. Looking at the graph, we can observe one thing, that is it conducts only in the forward bias condition, that is in the first quadrant. So we can conclude that SCR is a unidirectional device. Now let us see what is triggering. Triggering means it is the process of turning on the SCR. Once an SCR is triggered, it moves from forward blocking mode to forward conduction mode. Triggering we can also say as turn on method or process of turning on. There are 5 methods of triggering or 5 methods of turn on process. The 5 methods are forward breakover voltage triggering, rate of change of voltage, that is dV by dt triggering, thermal triggering, light triggering and gate triggering. Now let us see the first method of triggering, that is forward breakover voltage triggering. In this method, a voltage is applied across anode and cathode and gate is left open. Here positive of the supply is connected to anode and negative of the supply is connected to cathode, and hence SCR is said to be in the forward biased condition. Under this condition, junction J1 is forward biased, junction J3 is also forward biased and junction J2 is reverse biased. As junction J2 is reverse biased, there exists a depletion region across the junction. If the anode cathode voltage is increased, the depletion layer thickness starts reducing because of the increase in the charge carriers. If the anode cathode voltage is further increased, at one point of time it reaches the rated breakover voltage. Once it reaches the rated breakover voltage, an avalanche breakdown takes place at junction J2 and current starts flowing from anode to cathode. Hence the device is said to be turned on. Here you can see the forward bias characteristics of SCR. Here x-axis shows the anode cathode voltage and y-axis shows the anode current. From 0 to VBO, the device is said to be in the forward blocking region because only a small amount of leakage current will be flowing. Why only small amount of current will be flowing is because of the reverse bias junction and because of the depletion region across the junction J2. Once the anode cathode voltage reaches the rated breakover voltage, the junction J2 breaks down and current starts flowing. Here you can see the anode current has been increased. So this is what forward breakover voltage triggering. This method is not usually preferred because rated breakover voltage is usually higher than the supply voltage and it may disrupt the SCR. Now let us see the second method of triggering, that is rate of change of voltage dV by dt. Here dV by dt means sudden rate of change of applied voltage with respect to time. If V is the applied voltage across anode and cathode, junction J1 and J3 will be forward bias as already told, and J2 will be in the reverse bias condition. As this is reverse bias, there will be a depletion layer across this junction. This depletion region has space charges. Because of the space charges, junction J2 acts as a capacitor, with junction J1 acting as negative plate of the capacitor and junction J3 acting as positive plate of the capacitor. If V is the applied voltage across SCR and C is the capacitance across junction and Q is the charge on the capacitor, the charge on the capacitor Q is equal to C into V. We know this equation. By differentiating the above equation, we get dq by dt is equal to C into dV by dt. The charging current IC is equal to dq by dt. Substituting the value of dq by dt is equal to IC, we get IC is equal to C into dV by dt. From this equation, we can observe that the charging current is directly proportional to rate of change of applied voltage. So, we can observe that if the rate of change of voltage is increased, then the charging current increases. Thus, if the charging current increases, the SCR turns on. Even though the applied voltage is very small, if there is a large change in rate of change of voltage, the SCR triggers. This is what rate of change of voltage, that is dV by dt triggering. Next, we will study about thermal triggering. In thermal or temperature triggering, we are taking a forward biased SCR. In a forward biased SCR, as already known, junction J1 and J3 will be forward bias and J2 will be reverse bias as usual. Here, as the junction temperature increases, there will be increase in the charge carriers at junction J2. If further increase in the junction temperature, depletion layer thickness keeps on reducing. If the junction J2's temperature is further increased, the junction J2 breaks down and current starts flowing from anode to cathode. Thus, SCR is said to be turned on, and this method is known as temperature or thermal triggering. This method is not usually preferred because of thermal runaway problem. In the next slide, we will see light triggering. In light triggering, light is focused on the reverse bias junction J2 of a forward biased SCR. As light is focused at junction J2, electrons and hole pairs are increased at the junction J2 and a small leakage current starts flowing through the junction J2. If the intensity of light is further increased, more electron hole pairs are generated and current starts flowing from anode to cathode. Under this condition, the SCR is said to be turned on. The SCR which makes use of this method is known as LASCR, that is light activated silicon controlled rectifier. This method is usually used in HVDC transmission system because this LASCR isolates power circuits from the low power control circuits. Now let us see the last method of triggering, that is gate triggering. It is the most common method of triggering. Here gate voltage is applied between gate and cathode for a forward biased SCR. As we increase the gate voltage, the charge carrier are injected from N layer into the P layer. We know that for a forward biased SCR, junction J2 will be reverse bias condition and there exists a depletion region. With increase in the charge carrier injection, the depletion layer thickness keeps on reducing. With further increase in the gate voltage, gate current increases and hence the charge carrier injection increases, and one point of time the junction J2 breaks down and current starts flowing from anode to cathode, and hence the SCR is said to be turned on. In this method, SCR is turned on at less breakover voltage by applying a small gate voltage. Now you can see the characteristics of SCR. In the characteristics of SCR, we can observe that as the gate current keeps on increasing, the breakover voltage required will be very less. For higher gate current Ig3, the breakover voltage required is V3 and earlier will be the turn on process. So to conclude, higher the gate current, earlier the turn on process. This is the most commonly used method to turn on the SCR, because with a small amount of gate voltage a SCR can be triggered. Now let us summarize the methods of triggering. There are totally 5 methods. The first method is forward breakover voltage triggering. Here we apply a anode cathode voltage across the SCR. If we keep on increasing the anode cathode voltage, at one point of time, once this voltage reaches the rated breakover voltage, the SCR is triggered. The main point you have to note here is, for turning on of the SCR, the anode cathode should be greater than or equal to the rated breakover voltage. In the second method, that is dV by dt triggering, we need large dV by dt. That is, a large rate of change of voltage is applied across the anode and cathode. Once there is large dV by dt, there will be large charging current and SCR is said to be turned on. In the third method of triggering, that is thermal triggering, there will be increased junction temperature for a forward biased SCR. With increase in the temperature, the junction J2 breaks down at some point of time and current starts flowing through the SCR, and hence SCR is said to be thermally triggered. In the fourth method, that is light triggering, light is focused on junction J2 for a forward biased SCR. With increase in the intensity of light, there will be increase in the electron hole pairs at the junction, and one point of time current starts flowing from anode to cathode and SCR is said to be light triggered. And the last method of triggering is the gate triggering. In gate triggering, a small gate voltage is applied across gate and cathode. With the increase in the gate voltage, gate current increases and hence charge carrier injection also increases. And one point of time, the junction J2 breaks down and anode current starts flowing through the device and the SCR is said to be turned on. The main point need to be observed in gate triggering is, it needs lower voltage compared to rated breakover voltage to turn on an SCR. This is the most preferred method because it requires lower voltage to turn on an SCR. Now let's move on to general layout of firing circuit. Before looking into this, in the earlier slides we studied about various methods of turn on of SCR, and also we came to a conclusion that gate triggering is the most preferred method of triggering. In order to perform gate triggering, we need gate pulses. These gate pulses are produced by firing or triggering circuits. These firing or triggering circuits are low power circuits. These circuits produces triggering pulses at appropriate instants of time to turn on the SCR. These firing circuit mainly consists of control circuit, driver circuit and power circuit. The control circuit mainly consists of pulse generator. The driver circuit consists of pulse amplifier and pulse transformer, and power circuit consists of one or more SCR. Here power circuit, in the sense, it is the circuit which is connected to the load in series. Now let us see the functions of firing circuit. The firing circuit has to produce the gate pulse of sufficient magnitude to trigger the SCR at correct instant of time. Also, the width of the pulse produced, it should be sufficient to turn on the SCR successfully. And it also has to isolate the power circuit from the low power control circuit in order to ensure safety of the low power control circuit components. Now we have come to the end of the session. Let's move on to the questionnaire. The first multiple choice question is, the control element of an SCR is cathode, anode, anode supply, gate. Just think for a while. The answer is D, gate. How it is gate? We have studied different methods of triggering of SCRs. In that, the most preferred method is which one? That is the gate triggering. In gate triggering, we need to apply small amount of gate voltage in order to trigger the SCR. So, the control element in gate triggering is the gate. Hence, the control element it is of an SCR is gate. You also have to mind a point that once a SCR is triggered, the gate loses control over the SCR. Gate is used only to turn on the SCR. Okay, now let's move on to the multiple choice question 2. If positive voltage is applied across anode and cathode of the SCR, options are junctions J1 and J3 are forward biased and junction J3 is reverse bias. Junction J1 and J3 are forward biased but J2 is reverse bias. Option C, junction J2 and J3 are forward biased but J1 is reverse bias. Answer D, all are forward bias. Please do think for a while. Yes, you are right. The answer is B. Let's see how it is. You can see the structure of SCR here. Here there are three junctions J1, J2, J3. Here in junction J1, P and N, the layer P is connected to positive of the supply and hence it is forward biased. In junction J3, layer N is connected to negative of the supply. Hence it is also forward biased. But junction J2, N goes to positive layer and P goes to negative layer. Hence it is reversed bias. So let's move on to the multiple choice question 3. SCR can be turned on by. The three options are applying anode voltage at a sufficient faster rate. Option B, increasing the temperature of SCR to a sufficiently large value. Option C, applying sufficiently gate current. And option D, all the above. Yes, what is the answer? Yes, the answer, you are right. The answer is all the above. We can see the option A, applying anode voltage at sufficiently faster rate means which one? It is dV by dt triggering. And option B, increasing the temperature of SCR to a sufficiently large value. This is which type of triggering? It is, yes, thermal triggering, or it is also called as temperature triggering. And applying sufficiently gate current, this is gate triggering. So the answer is all the above. Now let's move on to multiple choice question 4. The normal way to turn on the SCR is by. The options are breakover voltage, appropriate anode current, appropriate gate current, and option D, none of the above. We have discussed in the methods of turn on of SCR. The most preferred method of triggering is gate triggering because it requires lower voltage compared to the forward breakover voltage. Hence the answer is, yes, you are correct. The answer is C, appropriate gate current. Let's move on to next multiple choice question. The question is, an SCR is turned off by. The options are reducing anode voltage to 0, reducing gate voltage to 0, reverse biasing the gate. Option D, none of the above. Yes, you are right. The answer is A, reducing anode voltage to 0. Why by reducing gate voltage to 0, why it is not possible? Because once SCR is triggered, the gate loses the control over the SCR. Even though if you make the gate voltage to 0, the SCR won't get turned off. It will be in the on state, that is in the forward conduction state itself. So in order to turn off the SCR, you need to reduce the anode voltage to 0. Next question. If gate current is increased, then anode cathode voltage at which SCR closes or turns on, the options are is decreased, next option is increased, third option remains the same, and fourth option none of the above. Yes, the answer is A, decreased. Let us see how it is. You can observe here in gate triggering, with the increase in gate current, the breakover voltage at which it turns on reduces. With a decrease in the gate current, the amount of breakover voltage required is increased. So as you increase the gate current, the anode cathode voltage required reduces. That is what the answer. The anode cathode voltage required reduces with increase in gate current. So the answer is A. Next question, that is the question number 7. An SCR can be brought to forward conducting state with gate circuit open when the applied voltage exceeds A, forward breakover voltage, B, reverse breakdown voltage, C, 1.5 volts, D, peak non-repetitive offset voltage. Yes, you are correct. The answer is A, that is the forward breakover voltage. This is the first method of triggering we studied. You can see here, without gate, what happens? You need to increase the anode cathode voltage till rated breakover voltage. Once if the anode cathode voltage reaches the breakover voltage, what happens? The junction J2 breaks down, and once the junction J2 breaks down, anode current starts flowing. Hence the current increases. You can see the anode current has been increased. Now let's move on to the next question, the question number 8, that is when a SCR gets turned on, the gate option A has control over the SCR, B can turn off the SCR, C loses control over the SCR, D all the above. Yes, you are correct. As I already told, it loses the control over the SCR. The answer is C. For normal SCRs, turn on time is option A less than turn off time, TA. Here TA means turn off time. Option B equal to turn off time. Option C more than turn off time. D half of turn off time. Normally we prefer gate triggering to turn on an SCR, right? Yes. In gate triggering, turn on time is very less. With increase in the gate current, turn on time also decreases. Hence the option is, yes, you guessed it right, it is answer A. That is, the turn on time is always less than turn off time for a normal SCR. Next question, during forward blocking state, a SCR is associated with option A large current, lower voltage, option B low current, large voltage, option C medium current, large voltage, and option D low current, medium voltage. Before going to the answer, first look at the question please. In forward blocking state, SCR is said to be in the off condition. Yes, in the forward off condition, only a small amount of leakage current flows through the SCR. So the options, it may be B or D. But in the off state, the voltage across SCR will be equal to the supply voltage. Hence the answer is low current, large voltage. Large voltage in the sense, the voltage across the SCR will be equal to the supply voltage. The option is B. You can also see in the characteristics here, in the forward blocking region, the current is very less and voltage is equal to the applied voltage. Voltage across the SCR is equal to the applied voltage. Next question. The gate control circuit should be isolated from SCR power circuit because Option A, it is mandatory. Option B, to protect control circuit from high power circuit. Option C, there is no need of isolation, and option D, none of the above. Let us assume if there is no isolation, what happens? We know that gate control circuit is a low power circuit or low voltage circuit. SCR power circuits are high voltage circuit because it is connected to the load. If these are electrically connected, if in case any high impulse voltage across SCR power circuit, then the low voltage circuit may get damaged. So in order to protect the low power circuit components, we need to go for isolation of low power circuit and high power circuit. So the answer is B. You have already guessed it, right? The answer is B, to protect control circuit from high power circuit. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is in dV by dt triggering. Option A, applied voltage is small and there is a smaller rate of change of applied voltage. Option B, applied voltage is small and there is large rate of change of applied voltage. Option C, applied voltage is large and there is smaller rate of change of applied voltage. Option D, none of the above. In dV by dt triggering, we know that charging current IC is equal to C into dV by dt. That is, charging current is directly proportional to dV by dt. So as dV by dt increases, charging current increases, hence the device turn on. This is the concept of dV by dt triggering. So in dV by dt triggering, for the SCR to turn on, we need large dV by dt. So the option is B, applied voltage is small and there is large rate of change of applied voltage. The answer is B, and the equation IC, that is charging current, is equal to C into dV by dt. Next question, in thermal triggering, option A, as junction temperature increases, the leakage current through junction J2 increases. Option B, as junction temperature increases, the leakage current J2 decreases. As junction temperature increases, leakage current through J2 remains same. Option D, none of the above. I think you have already guessed the answer. It is option A, as junction temperature increases, the leakage current through the junction increases. Why this? This is because as junction temperature increases, there will be increase in the charge carriers and hence there will be increase in the leakage current. Next question, during forward conduction state of SCR, SCR is associated with option A, large current, low voltage, option B, low current, large voltage, option C, medium current, large voltage, and option D, low current, medium voltage. We know that in forward conduction state, SCR is in the on state. So in the on state, large current flows through the SCR, right? Yes. So option is first one, that is large current, low voltage. You can also analyze this in the SCR characteristics graph. You can see here in forward conduction state, in SCR, more anode current will be flowing. So anode current will be very high. At that time, voltage drop across the SCR will be very low. It will be as 1 or 2 volts. So this completes the questionnaire part. Thank you for listening. I hope you have understood the method of turn on, different methods of turn on process, and also you have understood general layout of firing circuit. Finally, I like to thank all the committee members for giving me an opportunity to work in this project as content developer. Thank you all.